Finances are pretty much always stressful, but in a time where so much has changed, maybe your job or your living situation, finances can become overwhelming. In this morning's Hello Idaho, Chase Biefelt talks to Optum Idaho's Angie Radford about ways to manage our stress around finances.
Hello, Angie. How are you doing?
Great. Thanks, Chase.
Angie, we're talking about financial stress today. We would have been coming up on tax day if the deadline wasn't extended, but money is still a major source of stress for people. I imagine that's only gotten worse in the past year.
Well, Chase, prior to the pandemic, the American Psychological Association actually reported that around 3/4 of Americans cite money as a significant cause of stress. We know that the pandemic has really impacted people financially. What we don't have is those new numbers from the past year.
It has to be frustrating for people who have lost income or even jobs in these tough economic times because there's just not much we can do about this situation.
Yeah, this type of stress can be very consuming. It can impact your emotional and your physical health. You can't fix the past and you can't totally eliminate the stress that it's caused in your life, but you can work to manage it.
So how can you manage it?
Well, there are different ways to manage it. So let's start with two. Pause and not panic so that you can then identify those financial stressors and make a plan. So what you want to do is pay attention to really what's happening around you. Don't get caught up in that gloom and doom hype. That can lead to anxiety and then eventually poor decision making. So if you stay calm and focused, that way you can look at your own financial situation. You can then write down specific ways that you can reduce expenses or manage your finances more effectively. Then you want to commit to that plan and definitely review it regularly.
Sounds like we need to take a deep breath, we need to make a plan, but I'm sure there are other things that we can do.
So let's talk about 3 additional ways that you can deal with this type of stress. Really looking at first understanding how you deal with stress and how that relates to money. It's very common in tough economic times for people to actually turn to really unhealthy things like drinking and gambling and emotional eating. There's a reason why we keep hearing the joke about the COVID-19 weight gain. Stress can also lead to additional arguing in your household. So just being aware and on the lookout for these behaviors, that can then help you to manage those. Second would be looking at this as a growth opportunity, which sounds weird, but difficult times can actually offer opportunities to take stock of your situation and then make some needed changes. You want to think of ways that these economic challenges can really motivate you to find healthier ways to deal with this stress. And we do hear those positive stories, right? Families that are staying at home for dinner to save money, but also becoming closer together. The last one, Chase, would be really reaching out for some professional support in this area. There is credit counseling services, there's financial planners that are available that can really help you take control over your money situation.
If you continue to be overwhelmed by your stress, even if you're receiving financial counseling, you should never be afraid to seek help from a mental health professional. You don't have to deal with these feelings alone. Call the Optum Member Access and Crisis Line at 855-202-0973. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or you can call the Idaho Care Line for resources at 211.
24 hours a day. Help is there. All right, thanks, Doug.